Hi Sagis, how are you guys doing? Today's reading is going to focus on a situation that you're going through, right? And we're going to look at what is the obstacle in it and then an advice, this type of reading, right? So let's see what it is that Sagittarius is going through. What is the situation that you find yourself in? And for that, I chose the Sacred Traveler Oracle. So let's see. Where are you in your journey? What is the situation that you're in? Crossing bridges, but it's in reverse. I'm going to read the message first. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And this came in reverse, which indicates for me you experiencing a hard time, right? Healing, a hard time connecting because you feel a disconnect on an internal level, a hard time to mend fences between you and yourself, and a hard time releasing or letting go. Something that, if you watch the shorts, you were already having resistance to the surrender card from the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. And so this is the bridge that represents you transitioning from this situation to another, right? And in the night, we see the moon, which represents our unconsciousness, our feelings, illuminating the path, and still, in order for us to, because the moon also talks about secrets, illusions, and all that, we see the character here also holding a type of lantern. You have been getting a lot of lanterns. Yesterday's reading involved two lanterns, one in the Hermit card and one in like another card as well. And I think it was in the Fairies card with the unicorn. And so there's always that need for more clarity. And with this in reverse, I don't know, it's like I feel that you want to cross a bridge, you're either hesitating or you're not able to, or maybe you don't have the answers, you need to wait. So maybe it's a factor of time. Maybe it's an issue of you holding on to old things, not letting them go. Being fearful from what's on the other side of that bridge. So this puts even more emphasis on the need for you to heal, the need for you to connect, the need for you to mend, and the need for you to release. Okay, I'm going to clarify this with the Witch's Tarot. And so this is going to be talking about, let's see, what else? Ten of Cups. I love this because Ten of Cups represent our intentions, our vision, right? Heaven on earth, but also how to bring it down to earth. You see, this happy couple, this beautiful family, they're having a moment. It's a moment that feels too ideal, right? There's this rainbow indicating this idyllic happiness. There's all these 10 cups. They're feeling fulfilled as if this is amazing. But deep down, they do know that this does not last forever or that this is just a dream. The idea of it is like, because it seems on another plane, right? Like they're on the earthly plane, and this is still on the atmospheric plane, right? And so this card talks about having a dream, having a vision, seeing what makes you happy, knowing what's going to make you happy, but just not being able to take the steps necessary to get there. So that's the situation. This indicates for me that you're really no longer happy in the current situation that you're in, and you're really looking forward to leaving that, but still you are stuck. But with this card, really, like there is hope, because that doesn't only mean that you are envisioning how much the grass is greener on the other side, that it's actually greener if you do ever heal, connect, mend, and release and cross that bridge. It is pretty amazing. Notice how like it's upright, it's not even reversed, right? When it's clarifying this. So it's the crossing that's a problem. Once you're there, you're not going to be disappointed. Okay, now I'm going to be taking a look at what type of obstacle right? You're facing. What is the obstacle here that is standing between you and your happiness? Because there's an obstacle, obviously. That's why you're finding it difficult to cross that bridge. And so the obstacle is staying focused in reverse. The message says, hold the course. And in the imagery, we see someone using sort of telescope or something to look at the future. This looks like a magician or Merlin. So this is talking about being focused on our vision or our goals. And the fact that it came in the reverse, in your obstacle position, talks about, I think, distraction. So you're either running impatient, so right? So maybe you are doing the steps necessary to cross that bridge, but you're just too impatient and you want everything to happen yesterday, right? And so this might be talking about that. This also might be talking about being too distracted and allowing circumstances, people, events, even your own feelings or your own fears or whatever to distract you from being focused on that one vision. Because if you're able to focus, there is a way, you will get there. But that is the obstacle. I think it's going to prove very, like, not the easiest to stay focused on that goal. There's going to be lots of distractions. So maybe your environment won't be conducive. Maybe there's a lot of chaos around you. Maybe there's people dragging you down or not supporting you the right way, or maybe you getting too distracted, or maybe you're allowing your fears or your emotions or your anything to creep up on you and not allow you to focus. I'm going to clarify that with the Witch's Tarot. Let's see. The Star as a clarifier. I'm loving your clarifiers, right? Here it was the Ten of Cups and now it's the Star. You know why I love that? Because as much as reality is reversed, as much as it's hard to cross the bridge, and as much as it's hard to stay focused to achieve that vision, the clarifying card talks about the potential that once you do conquer this and cross the bridge, the Ten of Cups await, the total happiness. And once you do stay focused, once you're able to overcome this obstacle, it's clarified by the Star. And so this is telling me the Star talks about alignment and how you're aligned with your purpose, how you're aligned with the universe. And the fact that it clarifies this staying focused tells me that, like, your vision or your dreams or your goals, they're part of your purpose. They're there for a reason. They might seem hard or impossible or unattainable or however you perceive them for a cause. So maybe it's because you need to push yourself harder, maybe because it needs to make you believe something, so the dream is valid. The dream is there for a reason. But this is also telling me that whatever obstacles come in your way, so the distractions, the circumstances that are chaotic, the destruction surrounding you, the things that are dragging or taking time, the retrogrades, right? Like anything of that nature. Also, it's saying here with this card that it is divinely orchestrated. So you don't understand it. Maybe you hate what's happening to you right now in your current circumstances. Maybe you really hate it, even though hate is a strong word. Maybe you do. But it's just because you cannot see the bigger picture. You cannot see how this is orchestrated by the divine to reach that. When we are in the middle of the puddle, it's hard for us to, look up and see everything from a higher perspective. But yeah, and with this card as well, this is also telling you that every time you lose focus, this is another message, like the way to regain focus is to try to look at things from a higher perspective. Because the Star talks about the stars, right? So this is talking about trying to take a step back and looking at the forest rather than the trees, looking at it from a aerial point of view, right? So focusing on the big picture, not getting lost and distracted by the tiny obstacles around us. Think less locally, more globally, right? And you're destined for a lot of success. Don't forget that the star is number 17. 7 plus 1 is 8, and it's transformation. And here we see how she is transforming the water here in this card. And so, yeah, you possess the power of magic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see these 8? It's birthing this big supernova star. And so, yeah. Now let's look at your advice cards. What is the advice that Sagittarius needs to dealing with all of this? So the advice is the mystic healer. It's also in reverse. Healing energy flows through you. So again, there's a blockage in healing. See, you have got two blockages of healing, two messages the same around healing. And I think you're finding it hard to heal, and you're finding it hard to allow energy to flow through you. I think you're showing a lot of resistance with this card in reverse. This with the owl and the moon and all that, it reminds me of like the emperor, the high priestess, and it's in reverse. And so, yeah, something is blocking that energy. Let us look more into this. It is the Four of Wands in reverse. So I think it's the lack of stability. You're experiencing some sort of lack of stability that's not allowing you to heal. Lack of stability, lack of security. So this could be an unsteady stream of income, unforeseen expenses, tumultuous, unsafe circumstances in where you live. Lots of that, right? Also, this is talking about a gloomy mood, people not feeling around you, being like all sad and negative Nellies, a lot of that. And so when these two cards, they showed up as an advice, right? And so this is saying that as much as the circumstances are volatile around you, as much as people are volatile, they're not able to offer you real support. The only way for you to be able to unblock this healing energy is for you to try to, no matter what, try to recreate for you a semblance of security, even if it's an inner one that is not always reflected in your external circumstances. So try to tap into your internal energy, your spiritual energy. Try to transcend the physical, since the physical is what's really causing now all these problems. And so by that, I think it's not easy, right? This advice, but this is telling you to like trying to transcend the earthly plane in order to heal yourself. And within this chaos, within this destruction, within this stressful and volatile situation, try to find inner joy within. Okay. Now, let's look at what is a particular challenge and a lesson to learn when it comes to this situation, to the crossing bridge situation. Great adventure in reverse. Take a risk, venture forward. Yeah, I think you're not taking risks. That is crossing the bridge. I think you're too you're too comfortable in your miserable comfort zone. If that makes sense, right? You gotta take risk in order for the great adventure to unfold. Staying in one place is miserable but comfortable. And so this is your challenge. It's very, very clear. You gotta take a risk in order to guarantee this Ten of Cups situation. I'm going to be clarifying that. What does that risk involves? And I think this risk involves with the Page of Swords as a clarifying card. It involves being open to thinking about things in a new way, being open to a different type of communication with other people and with yourself, being open to looking at things from a different perspective, being open to also embracing a younger mind, because also the mind can get older when we get too comfortable or too submissive or too stagnant, right? So this is asking you to embrace new ideas, to embrace what you know is not everything. And once you open up, there's like an adventure here. You need to open your mind. Now let us look on how to overcome all of this. How can you overcome all of that? Exactly. Taking shelter in reverse, the answers are within. Yeah, you gotta move outside, right? That's the risk. You gotta embrace not only an idea, but also a physical change. So you gotta move. You need to move. You need to move jobs. You need to move mountains. You need to move countries, cities. You need to also be open to people, because the Page of Swords in reverse, and not in reverse, sorry, like upright, and it indicates a youthful spirit. And with this, the answers are within, and this saying the answers are without. This is talking about being open also to meeting new people, to talking to new people, to asking for help, to reaching out, all of that. Let me see. How is this? And by the way, you get the lantern again, and it's so big now, but like it's in reverse, right? Um, and so let us look at the clarifier of how to overcome this obstacle. Yeah, the Nine of Swords in reverse. And so, exactly, because I feel like the more you overthink this, the more you're gonna get nightmares and have that anxious energy where you're feeling restless and nothing's working out in your favor. When you step outside, you're gonna step outside of that anxiety. So also, this is talking about maybe how to overcome this. Maybe you've been stuck too much in a cycle that's a bit indoorsy or boring or whatever. So I think this is maybe asking you to take a risk and go out, right? This is also talking about like getting in touch with nature, going out, working out, mingling, and going like, even if out there is like not your liking, it's shit, just go, right? Like just go for that walk. Maybe you feel the weather is not cute, maybe you feel it's pollution, maybe I don't know what that is, right? And but maybe like, or maybe you don't feel like it, maybe you're being lazy, however that is, and then like, you drag yourself to go out, and once you go out, it's like you come back feeling better, right? And having better equipment and quality and energy to deal with all of this. So I think your mind needs a rest, but a change of scenery type of rest. So let's look at the goal here. What is the goal of taking that risk, of being open to new ideas, of going out and looking for answers outside of us, and for letting go of that anxiety and being more peaceful? Right? Let us look. What is the goal here? What is the goal? And the goal of all this exactly is a wandering path. It's enjoying the journey, and you got it like upright. And so this is talking about embracing that traveler within, that adventurous person, that wandering path. The wandering path also talks about the scenic route. So this is not saying, this is talking about you enjoying the scenery. Life is not always just about going from point A to point B, right? Sometimes you gotta go from point A to point D, but you gotta pass by B and C. And so this is asking you like, do not think about the quickest road, the shortest road, the less strenuous road, whatever. Just wander around and enjoy the journey. So this is saying like, go out, have fun, explore, take new routes, read things just because, learn things, research things, even if you're not gonna end up like doing them, enrich your world, right? Like this is talking about all of that, enjoying the journey. Because I think somewhere along the line you became too focused and obsessed and in a rut that you became miserable, and that sort of blocked your magic. Because when Sagis Stop being positive, stop being outdoorsy, stop being communicative, stop being hanging out, stop all of that. And they get like depressed and sad, or like they focus on something that's not panning out, and they, whatever that is, right? Like the more you do this, the more you lose your magic. And your magic is being positive, being adventurous, wandering, and enjoying life. So let me clarify that to see what can the Witch's Tarot tell me more about this goal to enjoy the journey and the wandering path. Yeah, Three of Swords in reverse, because that's the way to heal. This is healing, right? Because healing energy was blocked. Healing was blocked. And now this is talking about healing. The Three of Swords in reverse talks about healing, removing these old swords. There's a generational trauma, I don't know, karmic, bad inheritance, old wounds, childhood trauma, stuff like that. You gotta let go of all of that. These are the ones that are like not allowing you to embrace everything that's waiting for you. That Ten of Cups, that star energy. And so by taking the unfamiliar route, by being open again to the joys and wonders of life, and by allowing life to surprise you instead of trying to control the narrative every single time and with no results, right? There's a reason why like everything is blocked. It's like life is telling you stop trying to control the narrative. Just wander around, enjoy the journey, go outside, take a risk, and see how along the way you will be able to heal. And once you heal, you know what? You'll be crossing that bridge. You'll be enjoying that Ten of Cups moment. You'll be achieving the star. You'll be aligned and you'll be going on that adventure. Beautiful. Now, we're going to take a look at another role here. And this is going to talk about what are the opportunities that are lying ahead of you regarding crossing the bridge. What are the opportunities here for Saggy? It is the narrow pathway in reverse. You know, this says tread thoughtfully because it's a narrow pathway, right? So you wouldn't fall, but it came in reverse. So again, this is about taking risks. This is about not having a narrow vision of things. And this is just trying to look at the bigger picture. That's the opportunity. The opportunity for you here is to look through a really like visionary aerial view shot of your life instead of going into detail. This is the opposite of Virgo energy. This is not the time to get lost in details. And that's a great opportunity because this will remind you that Saggies are never about the little things, are never about the mundane, the daily. So why did you allow yourself for all of that to bug you that much? It's because you forgot who you are. And now this is a way to remember who you are. This is the opportunity here. To remember that you like bigger things. And with that, the opportunity is the King of Pentacles. And so that will be enabling you financial independence. It's like you're gonna find financial independence by finding yourself first. That's how you got it. Instead of the route that you thought is gonna lead you there, which is, I'm gonna do my research, I'm gonna apply for these X number of jobs, I'm gonna look on how to do this, I'm gonna, like being lost in all these logistics, and which did not pan out, and it made you even more sad. So the second, like, you look at things from a bigger perspective and stop, like, narrowing down. I think maybe you're like constricting yourself to an area, to a location, to a way of doing things, whatever. Once you think global and you get back your magic and you embrace that Sagittarius in you, guess what? Financial independence. It's always the non-traditional routes that lead us there because it's life that will guide us. We don't control it. Now let's talk about the challenges when it comes to that. What are the challenges that are keeping you, Saggy, keeping us, right, from embracing that bigger vision? Another challenge would be uncovering treasure beneath the surface lies great bounty. Yeah, so this talks about hidden opportunities. So maybe you are dismissing something um, before you allow it a chance to blossom. Maybe you are not really looking thoroughly into something, because there are a lot of talents, there is a lot of opportunities around you, there is a lot of treasures, and you're just not in the right place at the right time. And for you to do that, you cannot decide to go thoroughly through X number of spots to be there, right? You gotta wander, you gotta enjoy the journey, and then you're gonna land there. Stop trying to take this narrow pathway and treading thoughtfully. This is your death trap here. So yeah. So the challenge is uncovering this treasure. And it's very challenging, but it's very rewarding because you feel like the second you're gonna uncover it, you're gonna feel complete. Now let us look at the clarifier card for that. It is the Six of Swords in reverse. Ooh, okay. So, this is an interesting message. This is saying that the challenge is finding a treasure where you already are, right? Because you're tending to thinking that maybe the treasure lies elsewhere. And so for now, it's saying maybe another treasure that you're going to be able to get once you can afford it because you found this treasure is out there. But for now, it's right under your nose. It's beneath the surface. You just gotta know how to tap into it. And to do that, you gotta embrace back the magic, be an adventurer again, wander around, and stop being too focused. Because this is saying there's a reason why the universe is not allowing you to move completely across the bridge, because you gotta find a treasure first before you take that leap. If that makes sense to you. Now, finally, excited are we? This is the outcome card out of all of this. Let's see what is the outcome of this crossing bridge journey. We already saw the potential. Now we're gonna, which was the situation, the Ten of Cups. That's where it's heading. We saw the obstacle. That's how once we stay focused, we get aligned, right? And so now we're gonna take a look at what actually is going to happen. What is the actual outcome of all of this? How exciting. And so you get first light, a beginning a new cycle, right? But it's in reverse. So the outcome, I think, is, for me with this card, because this card already represents the potential once it's not in reverse. And the fact that we got it in reverse talks about, I don't know, I think there's a step. You're missing a step. Maybe that's uncovering the treasure. Maybe that's the treasure. There's a step that you're missing before you're able to begin this new cycle. So it's not the time right now for that cycle to begin. The crossing bridge is not going to happen right this second or right this week. You're still missing a step, and then there'll be light. I'm going to clarify this with the Witch's Tarot. It is the Six of Wands in reverse. Makes total sense. Victory, acclaim, applaud, validation, recognition, all that. This is not the time for that. You're not commercially successful maybe right now. What's important is that you feel successful on the inside, and what's important is that you feel you're making progress on the inside. This has nothing to do with sharing with the world the steps. And this is also saying that if you're making progress in one thing or another, also to keep it to yourself, to downplay it, to just be happy between yourself instead of broadcasting every single step. And yeah, so this is talking about an internal feeling of progress. This is not the time to be celebrated because the beginning is not there yet, right? But that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to make progress. One step at a time, one step at a time. So now I'm going to use the Rider-Waite Tarot to pull two cards that are usually additional messages from the universe. So let's take a look and see what the universe will be telling Sagittarius. You got the Death in reverse. Beautiful. This is saying this is not the time yet. Again, this is another confirmation that this is not the time. There's still one last step that you're missing before you release and let go. Maybe that's why you're not releasing, right? There is still one thing that needs to, one piece of puzzle. Maybe it's time. You need to let time, flow. Maybe this will be happening on November 19, when Pluto goes into Aquarius. And so once that happens, then death will be imminent, and then you're going to let something go. Finally, you're going to accept that this is the death of it, and I'm going to build a new world, right? Let's see what else you have with that card. Knight of Wands. Yeah, once that happens, blaze of glory. This is you, Sagittarius. Embracing all that fire and going on an adventurous quest of the new journey. That's the promise. One last step, Sagittarius. One last step. One last obstacle to overcome. One last fear to overcome. One last thing to deal with. And then once you get the transformation, once you release, you cross the bridge and you'll be in that 10 of Cups and star energy, enjoying and galloping on your new adventure. How gorgeous. How gorgeous, Saggies. All right, I love you.